Childhood Circles by Dr. Alon Giladi. Rebellion and Innocence.
Violence accompanied me in kindergarten, elementary school, and high school. In the 9th grade, I was again the chairman of the committee and also the best student. Since the year before, I had started taking a preventive medicine for the disease, and also a medicine that immediately relieved the severity of the attacks. I had the opportunity to do sports for the first time. The future looked more promising than ever. A year before, my parents decided that after the birth of my brother, it was time to leave the Tel Aviv suburb and build a small private house with a small garden in the west of the city of Herzliya. I opposed this move. I did not want to leave the big city, especially since I had started to make some friends there. I had an uncomfortable feeling about the move, although I could not explain to myself what exactly it meant. In any case, my voice was not counted in those days, and it was difficult for my parents to resist the possibility of moving from a relatively small apartment on the 4th floor, without an elevator, with 3 children, to a spacious 2-story house with a garden and windows overlooking the relatively open fields and the train. Near our new house, I would get on the bus every day from the affluent suburb and commuted to the high school, which was located in the city. The 9th grade of those days was populated by a large number of children with mild or moderate conduct disorder, and mainly with a tendency to raise their hands in different directions, mostly at each other. For some reason, they had a certain reverence for me, and I, who did not sense the approaching storm, used to raise my hand in every lesson a large number of times. I stood out at school. I was motivated, the excelled student in class, accepted by teachers and students alike. The future looked more promising than ever. One of the most boring lessons of that period was language class. To the trouble of boredom was added another trouble. The language teacher showed signs of weakness and difficulty in dealing with the verbal violence, the rustling, the throwing of chalk, and the impatience that filled most of the classroom. One day, at the end of the lesson, the teacher remained in the classroom and gathered her belongings. The students went out for recess, and several students banded together, snatched her purse, and locked her in the classroom. I was the head of the classroom committee at the time and the liaison between the students and the teachers. I asked, demanded that they stop, but to no avail. "Don't interfere," they told me. Without a second thought, I ran to my homeroom teacher in the staff room and called her. We released the language teacher, and we returned her purse. We did the right and expected thing. At the end of that day, I packed my things and prepared to go to the bus stop heading home. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a strange behavior from some of the students toward me. Slowly, the same group that had locked up the teacher gathered around me, and more students joined them. Others stood to the side. Others ran away. I was left alone. Slowly, the circle closed around me. I stood and looked at them. Not a word was said. A push here, a blow there. They developed into pushes, blows, and slaps. Using my 2 weak hands, I clawed my way out of there. I went to the bus stop and tried to figure out for myself what exactly had happened here, why it had happened, and why I hadn't prevented this event when I noticed it was starting. I got home. I quietly went up to my room, closed the door, and lay down on my bed and burst into tears.